This world is full of heroes, but not every hero can tell you their story. Some are sworn to secrecy, having to keep their most dangerous adventures hidden in the shadows of time. One such hero is Colonel James A. Ruffer, a retired Air Force doctor with an interesting tale to tell. Colonel Ruffer is different from most veterans in that he's served not only in the Marine Corps, but in the Navy and the Air Force as well, with a total of 26 years in the service under his belt. Fast forward to Nellis Air Force Base, August 15, 2013, when Colonel Ruffer's experiences culminate in an award which would define his career. Although Colonel Ruffer is no stranger to being in the spotlight, nothing could truly prepare him for this memorable day.
I knew I was going to meet a 2-star general and his vice commander, a 1-star, and a bunch of wonderful people. But nothing could prepare me for what happened in that room today.
Attention orders. This is to certify the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 24 August 1962, has awarded the Bronze Star Medal with Valor to Colonel James A. Ruffer. Lieutenant Colonel James A. Ruffer distinguished himself by heroism while engaged in ground operations against an opposing armed forces near Panama City, Panama from 7 April 1989 to 23 December 1989. During these dates of imminent and actual hostilities between the United States Forces and Panamanian Defence Forces, Colonel Ruffer demonstrated exceptional courage and initiative as a key individual in the medical care and rescue of an American citizen held hostage by Panamanian forces hostile to the United States. In the absence of specific direction, Colonel Ruffer forced contact when hostage had no other support, helped save the lives of 2 Americans, and provided the intelligence necessary to assure the hostage rescue mission's success. During a period spanning 262 days, Colonel Ruffer exposed himself on over 100 occasions to the potentially life-threatening environment of the Panamanian Defence Forces' infamous Modelo prison in the Republic of Panama. Under periods of extreme military and political crisis, where his achievements were characterized by volunteerism, intrepidity, skill, initiative, tenacity, and endurance, and his courage facilitated the rescue of the first enemy-held American prisoner since World War II. By his heroic actions and unselfish dedication to duty, Colonel Ruffer has reflected great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force.
Can't imagine what it means to me to see you all here. Thank you for taking the time to come and recognize me. I waited 24 years for this medal. I never sought medals. I served as a Marine fighter bomber pilot in Vietnam. Sometimes people would call you up and ask you if you'd write them up, and they'd write you up, and I was just too young to think that that was the right thing to do. I thought if you deserved a medal, it just came. But I kind of thought that I might receive a medal for Modelo Prison. That was United States Delta Force, by the way. I worked closely with them, having to come up with the information they wanted and try not to get caught. Well, I came up with it, being the only American in uniform allowed into the prison. The president threatened visa restrictions if they didn't let an American doctor see the hostage. I'm not going to take a lot of time, but I wanted to tell you that when I first saw this hostage after his torture and week of imprisonment, he was a shaken hulk of a man. I went over to the Gestapo that held him, the secret police. I said, "You've reduced this man to nothing. Nothing in just a week. I've got to see him again." Colonel Marañón said, "When?" I threw a prayer to heaven. I said, "God help me." I said, "Every other day, as long as you got him." And that's what we got. Thank you for being here, General. Thank you for your kind words. I did have the privilege to serve in 3 branches of the service. First as a proud Marine when I was in my early 20s. I came home from Vietnam and went to medical school and became a physician. The closest I could get back to the Marine Corps was the Navy. Became a proud Navy flight surgeon. Delivered 8 babies in one day. In those days, in the emergency room, if a woman came in labor, you delivered her. And took care of the children and the baby and whoever else came in with broken arms. But I needed to do my dream of being all things to all people, and I went up to Idaho and tried to practice. My wife and I together had 10 children, and it was a lot of work. I made about half the money that I would have in the service, and I worked twice the hours. And so I called the Air Force up, and I said, "You need a flight surgeon." He said, "Yeah, we do." I said, "Well, you don't have aircraft carriers, right? You're not going to take me 8 months out to sea every year." I said, "No, we don't." So I came on board. I showed up at Edwards Air Force Base just after the Challenger went down, and enjoyed the Air Force, enjoyed the Navy, enjoyed the Marine Corps. And in Panama, my commander was in Army, and in Fort Sam, my commander was Army, and I was in Army Command, and so I lived with the Army for 5 years. It was a wonderful time to serve, and my heart is for the American fighting man and woman, for those who come in out of high school and college and go off to fight, to put themselves in harm's way, who may not know what will happen, what accident will befall them, what training accident or what enemy action, but they do it. They may fall off that C-123 and break their neck before they even get into combat. My heart goes out, my love and my respect to every man and woman who's ever served this great country. I hope that can be the bottom line of our love and dedication to honor those who serve. Thank you, General, so much. Thank all of you.
By his heroic actions and unselfish dedication to duty, Colonel Ruffer has reflected great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force.
Those were loving eyes. They were appreciative, gracious. They honored me and brought me to near tears. It was one of the most emotional moments of my life to stand there and have the Bronze Star for Heroism pinned on me. I will never forget it.
In many ways, receiving the Bronze Star with Valor marks the end of an era for Colonel James Ruffer. Though his life is much more subdued these days, Colonel Ruffer admits that he will always cherish the time he spent serving our great nation.
My wife and I go home, we live alone. I'll take this uniform off
I'll have the memories of all my years of service from 1966. But I'll always miss the uniform and the service. It'll be a little heartache every day of my life, knowing that I can't come back here and pin on that medal again and have that experience. It's once in a lifetime. It's over. It's over.
Whether it's in the Navy, the Marine Corps, or the Air Force, Colonel James Ruffer looks back on his time in all three branches of service with great respect and admiration. His heroic story, once hidden from the world, can now be shared and honored by future generations. Senior Airman Aaron Hauser, Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada.